So, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I originally was not planning on doing a Mysteries of the Sith video. My original plan was, after finishing my Dark Forces 2 video, to just move straight on over to Jedi Outcast, and at first that's exactly what I did. Until about halfway through the first level, when I remembered that the whole Mysteries of the Sith expansion even existed, and that it actually does have some major impact on the overall Dark Forces / Jedi Knight storyline, so kinda figured I guess I'm obligated to at least give the game a try. Now, like I mentioned, Mysteries of the Sith is an expansion for Dark Forces 2, though calling it just a mere expansion might be just a little disingenuous. You see, in the late 90s and early 2000s, expansions were quite popular for major games, and considering that the whole hellhole that is live service gaming hadn't come about yet, expansions were a great way to revitalize a game and add new content. Now, in the late 90s, expansions typically fell into one of two camps. You had some that went above and beyond to provide a unique storyline, weapons, levels, and new characters as well. A great example of these top-tier expansions would be something like the absolute GOAT Half-Life Opposing Force, as you see here. On the other side, you had some expansions that were clearly just a way to dump out cut level designs and maybe some half-baked ideas, such as the Return to Katarn expansion for the original Unreal that pretty much feels more like a glorified mod in my opinion. With that said, Mysteries of the Sith sits definitely more towards the former rather than the latter. It has a fairly long campaign, in fact, probably longer than the original Dark Forces 1, and it's clear that some aspects of the story were actually very well thought out, and some of the new ideas implemented here are just amazing to see running in this game engine. However, with that said, this game does have some major issues that can pretty much ruin the experience for some people, such as having no straight storyline whatsoever, some aggravating level designs, and the infamous difficulty spike you have towards the end of the game. Not that I had any problem with that, of course. Ah, come on. No, damn it, come, son of a bitch. Oh, god damn it, mother. Don't get me wrong, it definitely has some great moments as we'll get into here, but man, I gotta be honest with you. If I wasn't making this video, there's a decent chance I might not have finished this game, which is a real shame because there are some things in here that absolutely amazed me to see done. I'm talking things that I never imagined that this game engine could actually handle, and there are some aspects of the story that, to be honest, I never thought we would ever get a chance to see outside of maybe the books. However, the just overall experience is just, well, kinda complicated, I guess. But hey, why don't we just go ahead and start the game up, and that way you can see, well, all the good and all the bad for yourself. So, like with Dark Forces 2, Mysteries of the Sith is filled with that classic John Williams soundtrack, which means I can't actually use any of it. However, like with the Dark Forces 2 video, I'll just try to use some other Star Wars video game music where I'm able. Now, one thing you might notice about the intro crawl here is that it's actually pretty vague with very little info outside the fact that Mara Jade is an ex-servant of the Emperor and was brought to the light side by Luke Skywalker and is now learning how to be a Jedi under the legendary Kyle Katarn. Now, we'll talk more about Mara Jade as the game goes on, but this is pretty much it for the intro. No stakes set, no objectives to aim for, just, hey, here's where everyone is. And the reason why the intro here is just so vague is because Mysteries of the Sith doesn't actually have a full story. Instead, it's more of just 4 sections with little self-contained stories in them just kind of smashed together. Ah yes, the cutscenes. First off, as you can tell, no more awesome live action scenes, which is a real bummer. I really was enjoying them a lot in Dark Forces 2. However, even low-res cutscenes like these can really bring you into the story when paired with just some awesome voice actors.
You're becoming very adept at using the Force to anticipate my actions. Someday that insight may save your life.
What's going on?
Captain Katarn, report to ops immediately! Captain Katarn, report to ops immediately!
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not really too good either. I mean, the voice acting in this game can really be hit or miss, and at times just sound flat out awful. And strange enough, it isn't because all these voice actors are bad voice actors. I mean, Kyle here does sound just kind of off, but he's played by the talented Reno Romano, the voice of Louise from Resident Evil 4, the narrator of Curious George, and even the voice of Darth Revan himself.
Yes? What? Sure. What? What?
Now, to be honest, it could be just because I got really used to Jason Court's version of Kyle, but Romano's version here just sounds sort of bland to me. I don't know. Now, I will say, the voice actress they got here for Mara Jade, Heidi Shannon, does actually a really good job, and as the game goes on, her voice acting seems like it just keeps getting better and better and better. Now, when it comes to all the side characters in the game, whew, that's when the voice acting gets really bad. I mean, even the stormtroopers just really don't sound right.
There's no way you survived that fall. Base, this is TK-8252. We have eliminated the intruder. Repeat, we have eliminated the intruder. Out.
Can you kinda see what I mean? I also gotta point out real quick, why does Kyle look like a 50-something-year-old man here? Just look at all that gray hair. I mean, he must have got his hands on some Just for Men or something for the future games.
Excellent, Mara. You're becoming very adept at using the Force to anticipate my actions. Someday that insight may save your life.
What's going on?
Captain Katarn, report to ops immediately! Captain Katarn, report to ops immediately!
Commander, what's the situation?
We detected 2 asteroids approaching our atmosphere and thought they'd break up on contact. We became alarmed when they took up a geosynchronous orbit and began bombarding our shields. They appear to be some sort of new Imperial weapons, disguised as asteroids to take us by surprise.
Looks like they were successful.
It's not something you typically see in an asteroid.
Sir, our long-range outpost on Delta 3 has picked up an Imperial strike force entering hyperspace. Using their last known course and speed, we estimate they will arrive within 3 hours.
We can't get our evacuation shuttles off the ground with those asteroids pinning us down. And once the primary force arrives, we're done for.
Sensors detect Imperial ground troops landing just outside our shields.
Send squads 2 and 5 to Blue Sector. Tell all troops to prepare for ground assault.
We still have a chance. I'm gonna see if I can borrow a shuttle from our visitors.
Did he just say borrow a shuttle?
I'm going with you. You're gonna...
No, Mara, I need you to stay here to coordinate the base defenses. I'll signal you when it's clear to begin the evacuation.
Better make it fast. We have less than 3 hours. And Katarn,
Yes?
good luck.
Thanks. I have a feeling I'm gonna need it.
So, like I said before, the game doesn't really have a full storyline of its own and is instead split into 4 separate mini storylines. And for this first one, you again play as Kyle Katarn, with the goal of fighting off the Imperial forces that are assaulting the rebel base we're at. Our objective in this first level is to find and hijack an Imperial shuttle so that we're able to sneak aboard the Empire's asteroid base to take it out. Now, in some expansions, they still try to kind of tutorialize the first level a lot to reintroduce you to the game. However, that is just not the case here at all. Mysteries of the Sith instead drops you right back into the action with enemies that didn't show up until towards the end of Dark Forces 2. The first level alone has you going up against all kinds of stormtroopers, from rocket troopers to the new scout troopers that can even take an extra lightsaber hit. And get this, it even has you facing multiple AT-STs. I mean, they really had no chill at all when it came to just throwing you right back into the thick of it, and to be honest, I kinda like it. Now, it's definitely clear here that the first level serves more as a way to just show off some of the advances they've made in the game engine and level design itself. The enemy's AI is way more aggressive and really seems to land just a lot more shots on you than before. They're actually so aggressive now that even if you force pull their weapons away like I did a lot of in Dark Forces 2, they just kind of say fuck it and try to throw hands with you, which is a pretty ballsy move to do against a Jedi. Throughout the first level, they have walls blowing open for stormtroopers to just flood in through, and they even have friendly AIs there trying to fight them back. I mean, they kind of suck and do nothing at all, but it really does a lot to just add to the atmosphere quite a bit. One of my favorite things here is actually at the beginning of the level, where you can actually just drop an A-wing on some stormtroopers for fun. Again, you don't actually have to do this, but little things like this that are kind of optional are always just fun to see in a game. Now, a really smart thing they did here is they actually start you off with some basic force powers like jump, pull, and speed, which might not seem too important at first glance. However, because they gave the player free reign to pick all their powers in Dark Forces 2, it actually limited the level designs they could create because they had to make it feasible to get through the level with all kinds of playstyles and choices, including just not picking any force powers at all. While here, they're able to actually incorporate your force powers into the level design itself, which creates some really cool moments later on in the game. Now, the first level here is just a pretty quick run through of the base, stopping a couple waves of enemies, restarting a generator, and eventually finding a shell to sneak out on. It's very combat heavy overall, and if it's been a while since you've played Dark Forces 2 and your skills might have gotten just a little bit rusty, there's a good chance you might pick up a death or two, either because of all the rocket troopers or because of a dumb misstep while fighting the ATSTs. Alright, come on. There we go. Well, damn it. In the intro for this video, I mentioned that one of the issues a lot of people have with the game is its aggravating level designs. And I will admit, the base does kind of feel like a maze here at times. I mean, I was definitely walking down some of the same corridors more times than I like to admit. Though, to be honest, this level really isn't too bad at all, especially when you start comparing it to some of the absolute insanity found in some of the later levels. Overall, I would say this is actually a pretty good first level to start on. It shows off some of the advancements in the game engine while still providing a good challenge and treating you like the veteran player you are. Come on, just jump up, get in there. Come on, let's get in there. Just there, oh, come on, there we go. After fighting our way through a few ATSTs, or just by running past them, we find the Imperial shuttle we need to make it to the asteroid.
There he is! Stop him!
This is Kyle. I've captured the Imperial shuttle. I'm preparing to lift off to the asteroids. I'll contact you when I have them neutralized.
Understood. Better make it fast. Their primary force will be here in no time.
So off we go to the Imperial asteroid base, and this is where things start to get just a little irritating at times. Not so bad that you'll just want to quit the game or anything, that comes much later, but it does start to kind of show some of the game's strange choices when it comes to level designs. Starting off, it's actually a pretty cool idea. You know, you can actually see the base you need to break into while you're going across the cliff edge, and it is just stacked with stormtroopers and deadly turrets that can just chew you up. Now, technically, you can just jump right down and fight them all head on, though to be honest, I probably wouldn't recommend it, but it is doable. Now, the way you're supposed to go actually takes you through the asteroid itself, fighting probe droids until you make it to this small outpost here. It's pretty clear you need to find your way into this bunker, but it is such a stupid way that I wound up spending 10+ minutes jumping on every ledge, looking in every nook and cranny, until eventually I realized that the windows of this bunker were not actually windows. They're wide open and you can actually just shoot right through them and blast a control panel. Needless to say, I kinda felt like an idiot after that. And it wouldn't be the last time in this game I would feel like one either. Okay, real quick, I was just rewatching some of this footage while editing this video up, and it is clear this Imperial officer tried shooting me through this window only for his blaster shots to be stopped by, well, something. So it's no wonder I didn't think this window was open and just assumed it was some blaster-proof glass like that's found all throughout the rest of the game. So, you know what, I really don't feel as bad about taking so long to figure this out anymore. Either way, back to the video. Regardless of all that, inside you will find a new addition to the game, the E11 Electroscope. With a quick tap, you can zoom in and take out enemies from afar, and man is it powerful. I'm talking just one-shotting stormtroopers, and it is just so fun to use. Oh my god, this is just This is just unfair. This is so unfair to them. Oh my god. Once you make your way back over to the ridge, you can just go to town picking off stormtroopers and turrets alike with this thing. I mean, it really isn't even fair. And speaking about not being fair, why don't we go ahead and talk about how you're supposed to get into the base? Now, I know I can be slow at times with some of these old games thanks to just how most new games today just kind of coddle us players like a bunch of newborns, but man, this is just stupid. No joke, over 10 minutes of trying to figure this crap out, looking for alternative passageways or power cup links to destroy, just anything to get in there. I mean, I tried force jumping, I tried taking out all the cameras, I just could not find anything that actually worked. And eventually I just had it and just broke down and looked it up. Turns out you have to step really far back so a door that you can barely see opens and then use your scope to shoot through the door at the control panel. I mean, does this really seem like a rational way to design this? I'm just saying, I would love to see the playtesters as they went through this level for the first time because this is just ridiculous. I am almost willing to bet my house that they didn't use any outside game testers at all because this is just the start of the bullshit. Then again, I rent, so I guess that would be a pretty safe bet to make. Either way, there are multiple moments like this in the game that without a walkthrough, I just do not know how you're supposed to ever figure out on your own. But hey, we continue through the base doing some light platforming and even stumbling across a few TIE fighters and TIE interceptors on a landing pad with their pilots just kinda hanging out, which is pretty neat. Another new feature in the game, but one that is barely used, is how you can actually use these turret emplacements. And it's a really cool idea that did get used a good amount in later games, but is pretty much not used at all here outside of maybe just blowing up a couple parked TIEs, I guess. Eventually, we can take a shuttle to move into the lower levels of the asteroid, where somehow Kyle, I guess, just kind of gets fucked over by some rocket troopers.
Blast him! There's no way he survived that fall. Base, this is TK-8252. We have eliminated the intruder. Repeat, we have eliminated the intruder. Out.
Gravity is a harsh mistress.
So starting off on top of this pipe, you get a pretty clear shot with your sniper rifle. And again, I can't help but just say how much I absolutely love this addition to the game. Oh my god, it's like they're just sitting ducks at this point. This is just, again, this is just so unfair. Unfortunately, we are locked in here until we find a way to get through this door, and here is where we are kind of back to some of those irritating level designs. After fighting through some stormtroopers and these new assassin droids, which are kinda weak to be honest, we make our way to a room with a couple switches in it, none of them for the door we actually need to go through. Now there is a neat secret area hidden in here where a gonk droid wandering around will open this hatch when he gets close enough to it, giving you access to actually the concussion rifle, which is pretty cool and a good incentive to not just blast every droid you see going forward. But the problem here is that turns out the way you need to go is through a vent that's just kind of tucked away here in the dark. And it's kind of at this point I realized that this was probably going to be a constant issue of whenever all hope seems lost, just look for a vent. And while this one's at an okay place to find, later levels just becomes a game of Where's Waldo Vent Edition. Either way, after climbing through the vent and disabling the defense systems and maxing out the laser cannon's power, we can make our way into the firing room and re-aim the cannon at the second asteroid base. But not before taking some shots at our own forces just to kinda see what will happen.
Heavy damage to target.
I'm hitting my own guys. I've got to be more careful.
Well, that was kind of anticlimactic.
takes care of one of them. Now to set the self-destruct and get out of here.
So now that we've taken out the second asteroid base, we need to make our way over to the reactor room to trigger the self-destruct on this one. And this level is really short, but also pretty neat. You start by climbing down into the reactor room and then swimming below it to slice the power couplings to trigger the self-destruct system. And two things here. One, swimming has been greatly improved on and feels a lot better than it did before. And two, be careful with that quick save. You see, I didn't know there was an actual countdown timer going on, and so kind of took my time and wound up quick saving after wasting quite a bit of it, causing me to have to just book it out of there with almost no time to spare. Oh god, hurry up. Hurry up. Come on. Come on, faster, 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 faster.
Danger. Core overload in 30
Faster,
seconds.
come on, man. There we go. Now it's just, nope, wrong force power. Shit, jump, jump. Where's jump? Where's force jump? Where's force jump? Okay, there we go. Oh, thank God. Hurry, hurry. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Mission accomplished. It's clear to give the evacuation codes.
Way to go, Kyle. I'll meet you at the hangar. But why take separate ships?
Because I've discovered some references to a hidden temple on the remote planet of Droman Kaz. Something I don't think the Empire wanted anyone to see.
Are you gonna investigate?
I feel as if I have to.
I suppose you have to do it alone.
Mara, I need you to stay here. The New Republic needs you to—
But my training! Yeah, I understand. Look, you know where to find me.
You've learned all you can from me. May the Force be with you, Mara.
Man, he just ditches her on a hunch.
Try to stay out of trouble, Kyle.
Mara, the New Republic is still in desperate need of supplies, and we aren't always able to locate them through honest channels. Kapa the Hutt has agreed to sell us these items in exchange for a certain degree of, how shall I say, amnesty?
Hey, if you want to do business with the slug, it's none of my concern. But why me?
Mon Mothma asked for you personally. She felt that because of your prior smuggling affiliations that he might trust you more than any of our other envoys. Also, with Kyle gone, we need your help more than ever.
Oh, come on, the Hutts don't trust anyone.
Tell your master that Mara Jade wishes to discuss a deal on behalf of the New Republic.
Why did she say that so seductively?
Tell your master.
Mara Jade, Oya King Sonyat Bagla, Bena Kon Jedi Soba, Itka Skywalker Tonkuta, Brinka Jabba, Nekapa no Bata.
That was different. I'm not.
Me Jusku, Mara Jade.
I guess I'm gonna have to find a way to let myself in.
So with the first chapter of this game down, we are finally playing as Mara Jade, just as the cover art promised. Now for all you more casual Star Wars fans, you're probably thinking to yourself, who the hell is Mara Jade? And where has she been my whole life? Sorry. Anyway, I'll sum it up quickly for you. In the original canon, Mara was a servant of the Emperor until the Emperor's death, with her last orders being to kill Luke Skywalker. And after searching the galaxy and becoming broke doing so, she becomes an elite smuggler to actually make some credits. She does eventually run into Luke, and of course hijinks ensue with a crazy whirlwind of an adventure including killing Luke's clone. Yes, this is real. She does eventually turn to the light side thanks to Luke and eventually goes off to Kyle to be trained as a Jedi, which makes sense when you remember they're actually both Imperial defectors. Oh, and by the way, she does wind up actually marrying Luke and having a little Force baby named Ben Skywalker, while also playing a huge part in the Yuuzhan Vong War. Overall, Mara Jade is sort of a controversial character due to the main man himself, George Lucas, kind of disliking her, mostly disliking her marriage to Luke. However, I kind of think a lot of the whole George Lucas hates Mara narrative is probably just more embellished, kind of like most things are online.
I am not the creator of Mara Jade, and I want you to get out of this office right now.
I'm sorry, Zed.
No way.
You brought
No
it on
way.
You brought it on yourself.
I don't want you here.
Zed, I got your voucher.
Out!
More than likely, he probably just thought some aspects of the character and storyline didn't make much sense to his vision of the universe, and that's perfectly fine. But overall, the fandom has a lot of love for the character, and if you'd like to know more about her story, I'd really highly recommend checking out the Timothy Zahn books. I mean, I was always more of an X-Wing book series guy myself, but the Zahn books are considered peak Star Wars by a sizable portion of the fans, despite a few detractors. Anyway, back to the game. We have been tasked with negotiating with Kapal the Hutt to obtain resources for the rebels, and for obvious reasons, Kapal the Hutt doesn't really want to talk to us, due to fearing the Jedi after what happened to Jabba. Makes sense. So to help Kapal change his mind on the whole violence of the Jedi, we of course make the logical decision to just slaughter everyone under his employment. It truly is the Jedi way. However, before we can do that, we first need to find our way inside, and this is a pretty easy puzzle to get around. All you have to do is damage this generator outside, and they'll actually come out to try to repair it. Okay, that Ugnaught was not violent. I just kinda swung on instinct on that one. Promise, it won't happen again. Well, damn it. Is it just me, or is it a little fucked up we're just kind of going into their living quarters and killing them where they sleep? I mean, I guess it's a good thing there's no light side or dark side paths in this game. Oh yeah, I should probably mention, now that we're actually playing as Mara for the rest of the game, that unlike Dark Forces 2, there are no light side or dark side paths, just a straight, sorta story, which means you can actually upgrade to dark side powers completely guilt-free in this one. And by the way, the whole force power upgrade system has actually been completely reworked to allow you to pick a select number of powers from each column instead, which actually does a good job at helping you kind of define your playstyle. They've also introduced a couple of new powers like Saber Throw and Chain Lightning, so pretty fun to just kind of mess around and experiment with all of them.
I don't think it liked the way I looked.
And that is your one clue as to how to get in. You see, in the maze of the living quarters, there is a section with a Tusken outfit on the ground that you can actually equip in order to get through. A really good use of the inventory system, and actually something that Dark Forces 2 never really utilized much of. Of course, after you gain entry, the guards still attack you. Well, except for sometimes they won't. I really don't get how the sneaking system is supposed to work in this game, I'll be honest. Oh look, a prisoner. Don't worry buddy, I got you. Oops, wrong button. Okay, there you go. You're free! You're free! Oh, you son of a bitch! Man, what's wrong with you? Just come out trying to throw hands with the woman who saved you. So after slaughtering almost all the guards, killing people in their homes, and hanging out at a bar full of Ugnaughts trying to just resist that urge to massacre all of them, we finally make our way over to the top of Kapal's throne room, where we place some charges to make one hell of an entrance.
That timer's ticking. Tell your men to back off. Back off! Look, I came here to make a simple deal, but no, you wanted to do things the hard way. I'm not here to work for you. You're in no position to negotiate. What do you propose? Fine, where is it?
No tricksti, ya? Go one more deeper. Botopa topa, spastilia paua Jedi no banta. Kiva wa wumpa, undipa kul kijaruya.
Oh, why do I feel like I'm gonna regret this?
So as part of the deal to provide the rebels with their supplies, we must first obtain some kind of surveillance equipment from the Hutt's gang rival Takara, which first takes us to the Katrasi Spaceport. Katrasi Spaceport. Katrasi Spaceport. That's a weird thing to say. So first off, I have to say, I really dig Mara Jade's starship. It really just gives off that late 90s sci-fi vibe I enjoy. But back to the level, and oh, what a level it is. This right here is one of the strangest ideas for a level, and I don't know how they actually got it working in this game engine. It's kind of like a mini city with gangs and stormtroopers just walking around doing their own thing, and as long as you play it cool, they won't actually notice you. And there's something I kind of love about seeing a game engine just retooled to do things it was never initially meant to do. So long as you don't directly attack the stormtroopers, they'll kind of just let you go about your business doing whatever you like. And the funny thing is that this means you can actually start to kind of mess with them a bit by doing things like pulling their blasters out of their hands using the Force, because that's not directly attacking them. The gangs, however, seem to let you pass sometimes, but attack on sight other times, so I really don't know what that's all about. Also, there's kind of a strange bug where if you quick save and then alert the guards, and then try to reload your quick save, the guards will still be alerted, so once your cover's blown, that seems to just be it for you. I tried to look it up and see if this is a common occurrence, but really couldn't find anything online about it, but I tested it on every sneaking portion of the game and kind of got the same results. So if any of y'all know what that's all about, please let me know in the comments below and explain to me why I'm just stupid and did something wrong. So the spaceport is a pretty interesting place to explore with a lot of hidden rooms. You can even be an ass and rob the local stores if you like.
Hey, who's gonna pay for this?
Yeah, put him on Kapa's bill.
Again, it's a good thing there's no dark side points in this game. I also have to point out probably the best Easter egg in the game, which is sneaking into the beautiful All Droids Ballet.
It's some kind of ballet.
Who knew gonk droids could be so light on their feet? Now, the objective here is to find Takara's lieutenant, Abron Mar, who is hiding out at a local bar here, and just beat him up for information. First thing, however, is we need to find his ship and ground it to make sure he can't escape. However, once you find Mar's ship, be careful because it will put all the stormtroopers on full alert. Oh my god, that is a lot of you. Well, this is one hell of a crime scene now. No witnesses. So after grounding his ship, we head to the local cantina and he takes one look at us and just books it on out of there. Unfortunately, following him leads us right into a trap where Grans rain thermal detonators down on you, but once you make your way out, Mar continues to flee, locking you in a garage. And what's a Jedi supposed to do to get out? Nah, get that crap out of here. We're doing this shit the old-fashioned way.
I love this job.
Now, unfortunately, here's where it starts to become just a little bit tedious, with you just having to clear out hallway after hallway, room after room, searching for this guy, until you come across possibly the most bullshit level design choice I have ever seen, and there is just no reason for this at all. After going through this hallway, you enter into a cantina and head down to look for Mar. Down below, Mara will spout out some dialogue about looking for a crime boss before, of course, they just kind of start blasting you. There's even a blaster boost down here implying there should be plenty of people nearby for you to kill, but there's just nothing. I am not joking with you when I say I spent near 20 minutes looking all around the bar, then looking all around its entrance, desperately not wanting to have to look up the answer again for this bullshit question. But eventually, I cracked and looked it up, and I'm going to be real here, this is just stupid as hell. Turns out this whole area here is nothing but a big distraction. There's really nothing over here at all. Nothing in the bar, nothing around this entrance. No, all of this just serves no purpose whatsoever. Apparently what you have to do is backtrack all the way to that first hallway to try to find some hidden grate to go through in order to proceed. And when I say a hidden grate, I mean a very well hidden grate. I'm talking this grate taught Where's Waldo how to hide, because this is just bullshit. It's just really frustrating seeing how the game just wants to actively try to just fuck with the players like this. I mean, something being hard to find isn't always a bad thing, but this is just nonsensical. At least there's a cool Millennium Falcon Easter egg around this area. Most of the level from here on out is pretty straightforward, with you parkouring over rooftops and battling it out with tons of gang members. The hardest part here is probably just the deadly return of those concussion rifle wielding Trandoshans. Yeah, they're not as bad as their Dark Forces 1 counterparts, but these guys are still kinda bullshit at times. Unfortunately, they're not the most bullshit enemy this game has to offer. Ugh. We'll get to it. We'll get to them later. There you are. Now die! Okay, I know I cut you good, buddy. I don't care what this cutscene says.
It seems the rat has run out of places to hide.
Who's the rat now? You walked right into my trap. Is this the best that Kapa has to offer? Let's find our rat some suitable accommodations. I'm sure Takara will have some questions he'll want to ask her.
So this is actually a really good level from a gameplay perspective at least. It actually starts you off locked up in Takara's base and requires you to have to make use of your force powers alone to escape. Again, just a really great instance of where giving the player some powers by default actually really helps when it comes to creating more engaging levels. While sitting in your cell, you'll need to force pull the key from the Gamorrean guard and avoid their attacks while fleeing. You see, while the legendary Kyle Katarn can bitch slap a crate dragon with his bare hands, Mara Jade can't cause almost any damage to the Gamorreans with her dainty little lady hands, so it requires you to have to use other things like force speed to simply outmaneuver them while looking for a wrench to open up the sewerways and escape. Now, I thought I could just cause a prison riot by opening up all the cells, but all the imprisoned Grands are apparently still programmed to side with the Gamorreans to attack you, so watch out for that. After making our way through the sewers, we come across what many people would probably consider the most iconic part of the game. Wait, what's that? Okay, where's Foresight? Oh, shit. Well, damn.
I knew I was gonna regret this.
So here he is, the Rancor from the game's cover art. And just for a moment, really just put yourself in the shoes of someone from 1998. This right here would be insane. To get a chance to fight the Rancor like Luke did, I mean, it is so cool. And something that was a brand new experience for a lot of people back then, unlike now where it has been pretty much done to death at this point. Now obviously you don't have any weapons starting this fight off, but if you run around the arena you will find your lightsaber behind some bars so you can actually force pull it towards you. But don't think just because you have your lightsaber it's going to be an easy fight. Okay, come on, I got you. Come on, I got you. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is sick! Yeah, they actually straight up added a whole mini cutscene of you being eaten whenever he kills you. And I'll be honest, I've watched this scene quite a few times because he can kill you pretty easily. At full health, you can only take one hit before he'll eat you, so you really need to make sure you move to avoid him the best you can. Force jump does seem to be pretty helpful here, but I did have a couple times where I'm pretty sure I just jumped right into his mouth. Now for me, I preferred just to use force speed so I could just run circles around him to take him out. I still got killed a few times, but he's pretty slow moving, so as long as you keep going in, out, in, out, in, out, and just timing it accordingly, you should be able to take him down pretty easily. Alright, come on, here we go, here we go. I got you this time, come on. There we go, alright. finally, about freaking time. Oh man, that took, oh no! God damn it. Now unfortunately, the rest of the level is pretty dull by comparison. They kind of just blew their load on the whole Rancor fight, because everything else here is just basic fighting through some pretty boring environments. I mean, there's a couple of neat things here, like the droid torture room, but for the most part, you're really just fighting through enemies until eventually you find Kapal's surveillance device and just book it out of there.
Kapa, how nice of your men to recover my ship and load all the supplies for me. You keep this up and you might give yourself a good name. As soon as I get the supplies back, you'll get your payment. Of course, first I'll have to tell Mon Mothma about your illegal surveillance equipment, being an honest Jedi and all.
Is it kind of sad that the best voice actor in the game might be the dude voicing the Hutt?
Mara Jade.
A pleasure doing business with you. This is Mara. I finished my patrol, nothing to report. As usual.
Thanks, Mara. I know this feels like routine guard duty to you, but Mon Mothma wouldn't have asked if it weren't important. The Jedi Holocron is an important artifact, and it must not fall into the wrong hands.
We've got a full squadron for an escort. No one would be stupid enough.
What the? We're dropping out of hyperspace!
New Republic transport, prepare to be boarded.
Man, that dude has to be the most boring sounding pirate I have ever heard. I mean, he sounds like he's on a Walmart intercom asking for someone to do a cleanup on aisle 3.
Pirates. I wonder if it's anyone I know.
The hangar doors are stuck. Can you see what you can do? We've got to get our fighters launched.
So at this point, you might be asking yourself, what does the assault on the Rebel base, Kapal the Hutt, and this Jedi Holocron actually have in common? And the answer is absolutely nothing. And that really might be the biggest sin of this game. You see, there was definitely moments in Dark Forces 2 where things got kind of repetitive gameplay-wise, but the story and characters were so good you didn't really mind. While here, everything is just so disconnected, it's really hard to really be invested in it at all half the time. And these next couple of levels really start to feel pretty repetitive at this point, though they do have a few saving graces for them at least. Starting off, you first have to make your way over to the hangar to help launch some X-Wings to take out the Pirates fighters. And let's face it, it's always cool seeing X-Wings take off, and if you were playing this game back in the day, this is something that was pretty advanced for the time, so it's a pretty good addition to have in the game itself.
We're being ordered. Get back here, Lord. The bridge is under attack.
After that, however, we make our way back to the bridge and come across our first Zero-G room. Zero-G in this game actually is pretty easy to navigate through, and they did a really good job coding it into the game itself. And the dead bodies just kind of floating around the area does help to sell the destruction and death that's occurring on the ship. Eventually we do come across some of the pirates, and oh boy, are these some of the most generic looking bad guys I have ever seen. I mean, come on LucasArts, you're creative people. You tell me you couldn't have come up with anything more unique than this? But as we make our way over to the bridge, we find the commander dead, and thus take it upon ourselves to go and secure the Jedi Holocron before the pirates can get it.
Stolen the Holocron. I've got to get it back.
Oh yeah, I guess that would probably be too easy, so never mind. There are a few moments in the level that were pretty interesting to see done, like cutting the cables to lower a bridge, and even using a droid to open up a locked doorway to get through. You know, I'm kind of surprised that this was never a feature in the original Dark Forces 2. I mean, they made a lot of different types of droids for the game, but this is the only time they ever actually are used in any real way. Now, probably the most well-known part of this level is the crazy Zero-G room filled with rocket troopers, and I have to say, floating around and dodging rockets and taking these guys out is just a lot of fun. Most definitely the highlight of the entire level. The only negative part about this whole area is how you get out of it. Oh dear lord, man, where the hell do I go? And once again, the design here is absolutely ridiculous. Playing Where's the Vent is annoying as is, but to play it in an area where it's been tucked away in a corner of a room with lighting that causes it to just blend in with everything else is just so stupid. And it's starting just to feel like they did this crap on purpose just to find some way to pad out the game's runtime or something, I don't know. Either way, we make it to where they're loading all the cargo onto the ship and sneak aboard inside one of the crates. And by sneak on, I mean we just run inside the crate while everyone's looking at us and the game is none the wiser.
I'm not sure this is a good idea, but it's the only way.
Hey, what'd we get this time?
Usual stuff.
What about that mag-sealed crate?
My god, they had to have been using some random employees to voice act some of these characters.
He's having it transferred to his private collection on the planet.
I gotta follow that crate.
So this next level isn't exactly the worst design level in the game, but it's definitely the most boring in my opinion, which I think makes it worse overall. We are now on the Pirates orbiting dockyard and have to find a shuttle to stow away on to get to the pirate leader's base. Most of the level looks and feels pretty repetitive with only a few puzzles to really mention. Most of it's just one maze with little to see. However, this is where you can at least find the carbonite gun, which is kind of useless at this point, but it's still pretty fun just to kind of mess around with. And yes, they do shatter when you hit them, which is a really nice touch. I really wish there was more I could really talk about with this level, but it's really just a combination of key hunting and running into a lot of dead ends, so there's not really much worth saying here, so let's just go ahead and move straight on to the pirate base itself.
I doubt these guys would notice an extra passenger.
Hey, all secrets found. And to think, I still find this level more boring than any other level in the game.
Good thing for me these guys are sloppy. Card would have had him shot. Now, to find Karabani's collection. It seems like they don't know I'm here.
I mean, I don't exactly know how I'm running around with a purple lightsaber, but okay. Oh yeah, now you recognize me. Man, I really do not understand how stealth is supposed to work in this game at all. What's that sound? Oh, fuck! What the hell is that thing? Machete-wielding blue monkey man, good lord! Well, fuck. So these evil machete-wielding blue bastards are the Nogri, a special elite species of warriors and assassins that actually used to serve Vader before the Empire fell. They actually have a pretty deep history in legends, being slaves of the Rakata, used in Sith Force experiments, and even serving alongside Grand Admiral Thrawn. However, one of the more interesting tidbits about them is that writer Timothy Zahn originally wanted them to be the original Sith species, and having them serve under Vader would make the phrase Dark Lord of the Sith have a slightly new meaning. However, this idea was of course scrapped, but later slightly revived just in a different fashion and used heavily during the Old Republic era. It's also worth pointing out that their design has definitely had some changes over the years, with the original depiction reminding me more of a blue gorilla, and the comics giving them more of a great warrior type vibe. Then Disney came around and did whatever the fuck this is.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Gameplay wise, they really aren't too bad to fight and are pretty weak against blasters, so as long as you keep your distance between them, they're pretty easy to take out. Well, at least for now. Now, the pirate leader's base is actually one of the more stunning levels in the game, and I really had a lot of fun here. Well, besides this small platforming part that for some reason I just could not get. Alright, jump. Oh, god damn it. Oh, really? Okay, let's try this again. Let's go. Alright, made the first one. Alright, jump. Oh, come on. Don't mess up. Don't mess up. Mess up. Woo! Finally. Normally platforming parts like this don't really bother me too much, but something must have just been wrong with me that day. Anyways, the level is filled with a lot of great set pieces, including some interesting puzzles and pretty cool traps. And oh no, not water enemies, no. Just hurry, swim out of here. Get the fuck out of here. God, I hate water enemies. I hate them. Just freaking hate them. Ugh. I mean, the underwater tunnel here is really cool, and there's another underwater trap where if you don't use force speed and run through it in time, the shields that are blocking off all the water will disappear and it will just flush you right down the drain. Just some really cool level ideas for the time. They even chose to place a bunch of Easter eggs just all across this level, like the helmet of some of the Dark Troopers from the original Dark Forces, and even the head of that prick AT-88. Now, of course, I have no idea how a crime lord gets a hold of all this stuff, but it's still just really cool. But he's also somehow managed to mine out a portion of the Valley of the Jedi. Or at least I kind of think that's what this place is supposed to be. Eventually we grab the holocron and get dumped into a pit of Nogri. But again, the blasters are pretty effective against them, so no big deal. For now. From this point on, it's pretty much just blasting our way through Nogris and pirates until we can eventually find a shuttle to get ourselves out of there.
Mara, this is Mon Mothma. Go ahead.
I'm concerned about Kyle. Have you heard from him? He's been out of contact for quite some time now.
I understood he was on some sort of personal mission.
He was investigating a lead he had regarding the ruins of a Sith temple on Dromund Kaas. But I'm afraid something may have happened to him. I think I should check it out.
I can't afford to lose either of you. Do what you must, but keep in touch.
I'll contact you as soon as I know anything. Jade out. That looks like a good place to land. Now to see if I can find Kyle's shuttle. Although I'm not sure I like the look of that swamp.
So, the story has finally looped around and we have made the decision to follow Kyle to the Sith world of Dromund Kaas to find out, of course, what the hell has happened to him all this time. Dromund Kaas is a planet with massive importance when it comes to the larger Star Wars Legends lore as a whole. To give the quick rundown, it was the ancient Sith Empire's capital world, ruled over by the immortal Emperor Valkardian, who, interesting enough, had a hand to play in Revan and Malak's fall to the dark side. If we jump ahead a good 4,000 years or so, the Emperor Sidious finds out about the world and decides to wipe it from all records and decides to secretly use it to test many of his dark servants. So basic gist here is evil as hell planet, rich in the dark side. And as we arrive, it's pretty clear that this world is definitely different from all the others we've been to, with a dark, foreboding atmosphere that really just had me hyped to play through it. What the hell is this? Okay, so where's the switch? Ah, I see. I just gotta jump out of here. Come on. Wait, where do I go? All there is up here is a bonus. Where am I supposed to go? There is nothing up in these trees. How the hell do I get out of here? Just want to leave my ship. Yeah, all that hype was quickly stopped after I couldn't even figure out how to get out of this starting area and wound up spending like 5-10 minutes or so just climbing trees thinking that must be the way out of here. Turns out you actually have to sneak past this statue with Force Persuade. A really neat idea in theory, but pretty confusing in implementation. But just as I thought we were starting to move forward no problem, I fell into a trap hole and was forced underwater and drowned. So yeah, this is not your typical level. Also, if you're wondering why I'm not using my blasters against all these Malocs, it's because apparently this planet is just so evil, it shorts out all of your weapons other than your lightsaber. So yeah, some of these enemies can really just be a bitch because of it. No, wait, sorry, I misspoke. All of these enemies can be a bitch. In the swamps alone here, we have swamp wampas that can damn near one-shot you, tons of Malocs that mostly just kind of get in your way, random water traps that can drown you, Dianagas in those bodies of water, and even evil roses that shoot you with thorns. Yeah, you heard me right. Even the flowers here are evil. And the way this level's constructed, it just feels like they were trying to get you killed with cheap deaths, where enemies will just pop around a corner and just wreck you. It really turns what should be a unique and interesting level idea into just an entire slog that by the end of, you're just so thankful to be over with, and not in a good way. I will say, it is nice that Force Sight actually serves a purpose helping you here, though I'm pretty sure that Force sound effect they use is going to be stuck in my brain till the day I die. As we make our way through the swamps, we do eventually find Kyle's shuttle, but with no sign of him, we decide to just keep on moving forward to the temple he was investigating. We come across a switch that can only be accessed using Force Sight, which is an interesting idea lore-wise, where only Force users can gain entrance to the temple, but again, feels kinda strange gameplay-wise. Alright. Wait, who's that? Hey, it's me! It's like a dark side of me! That's awesome! She's even got dark pants and everything. Don't you know, tan pants mean light side, dark pants mean dark side. So preventing your entrance to the Sith temple is you. And let me tell you, you are not to be messed with. Story-wise, it's actually a pretty cool idea of the dark side showing a Jedi their darker selves and having it be just so damn powerful. It's something that feels right at home for an ancient Sith temple to have. And let me tell you, fighting Darkside you is tough. I mean, right up there with some of the tougher fights you had in Dark Forces 2, if not tougher. Which is pretty crazy when you think about the fact that this is actually your first lightsaber fight in the entire game, and they do not take it easy on you at all. Darkside you not only has plenty of health points, but she also just spams lightning like no one's business, just ripping through yours. Fortunately, she can at times get caught on the level geometry, giving you a moment to heal up, but even then, she's still kind of a pain in the ass to beat. With that said, I always love these lightsaber fights in these games, so it's still pretty awesome. Yeah, take that. Oh, okay. Now where the hell do I go from here? Oh, what's this? And, oh, shit. Well, hello there. So yeah, the Nogri are back, and in some of these tight corners can really be a pain in the ass, especially now that we don't have any of our blasters. Now they are far from the worst enemy on this planet and still are pretty manageable with a lightsaber. However, I would be a liar if I said they didn't catch me off guard at least a few times in this game. If you're wondering why are they even here in the first place, it's because Palpatine's servant, Chronal, a major jackass who enjoyed using Sith alchemy to mutate and create Sith spawns, such as the one and only Picaroon C. Boodle, captured some Nogri and mutated them and placed them here to guard the temple. So they're pretty much all over this place from here on out. But after fighting / using Force speed to just run past everyone, we do eventually find the temple's entrance and can head in to see what other horrors await us. Ooh, this is a spooky hallway. I like it. What was that? Oh shit, they're statues. That's badass. Sith Guardian statues to be exact. From here on out, they become a pretty common enemy and are actually probably one of my favorite enemies in the game. They kind of serve the same gameplay purpose as the minor Dark Jedi you fight in the future Jedi Knight games. Not nearly as powerful as a typical boss, yet still allowing you to get that dueling feeling. Here they come in two flavors, bronze and silver, and if you can't tell, their models and fighting styles are based off of Yun and Jarek. Now at first I did have some problems with them, but once you get back into kind of just the groove of things overall and figure out how to dodge and avoid their attacks effectively, you can really start cutting them down without too much problems. Unfortunately, after clearing out these statues, we are introduced to my least favorite enemy in this entire game. Or almost any game, to be honest. The Vornskir. Cover your virgin ears if you still got them, because I have a few things I just have to say about these bastards. These guys are not fun. They are beyond unfair, and frankly, I'd rather take another stroll through Halo 2's Sniper Alley on Legendary than even fight one more of these pricks. Not only do they have ridiculously strong attacks, but their attacks stun you whenever they hit, making even one hit just pretty much death. It is difficult as hell to outmaneuver them because of how quick they are, and they can take multiple lightsaber attacks like it's nothing. And the worst part here is that they are just everywhere. Oh, and did I mention? These motherfuckers can swim underwater too. And don't think you can just sneak past them by going invisible. No, they have a special force nose that can still find you all the same. Just such bullshit all the way around. You know, there's a fine line on whether an enemy is just hard or truly unfair, and this one just hops right over that line. Every encounter with them is just so unfun and unforgiving. Any chance I had, I ran past them to just avoid fighting them altogether. Except of course when the level pulls some bullshit and has you swim through an area to rise up in a room filled with 3 of these bastards, only to find out after dying a dozen times, it's just a freaking dead end. Turns out the real way out is a rock you have to click on for it to move out of your way. I mean, why would you design your levels like this? I just don't. In more comedic news, the Nogri AI doesn't really know how to get past certain obstacles, so a lot of time they can just get stuck in weird areas like this, which does make things at least a little easier at times. After battling our way through multiple Nogri and having some fun dueling the statues, which again are really enjoyable, we finally make our way to Kyle to say what's up.
Mara, you should not have come.
What's going on, Kyle? When you located the temple, why didn't you report in?
Because when I found the temple, I found a part of me which I couldn't deny. I found a greater source of power than I had ever known.
Here in these ruins?
Don't judge with your eyes, Mara. Reach out with the Force. Sense the power of the Sith around you. Accept it.
No! I sense only evil and death. Kyle, we have to get you away from here.
I have chosen my destiny, and it lies here. Because of our friendship, I offer you the chance to leave, but do not persist in pursuing me. If you do, I will not be responsible for the consequences.
Kyle, wait! I don't like the look of this, but there's no other way. Kyle? Where are you?
Mara, I knew you would make the right choice. Follow me to the heart of the temple. Feel the power embrace you as your Jedi powers fail you.
Kyle! He's gone insane.
So first off, I love the design here of the catacombs. It looks excellent for it being just like the heart of an evil temple. The lights in the walkway, as well as just the massive inner sanctum, is just fantastic. The interesting thing here is that the whole level is really just one big puzzle where you have to activate these pillars all around the room to get the doors to match one another. The catch here is that to get to these spots, you really pretty much have to go through hell itself. And by hell, I mostly just mean more Vornskirs. Alright, let's get on with it. Oh, come on, we're on the first fucking corner. Are you serious, game? God, I hate you! As we go deeper and deeper through these side passages, we eventually find Kyle as he warns us there are other dangers lurking in here, which, if there's anything more dangerous than a Vornskir, my god, I do not want to meet it. Lucky for me, before I actually started this level, I got a very informative comment on my Dark Forces 2 video that really helped me out with all the dueling. From Classical Music 1337. I enjoyed the video, but you're pretty bad at the game. For example, The lightsaber's alt attack, right click, is unblockable and is much better against the bosses than the standard attack. Well, fuck me. I've been basically playing through these games with one hand tied behind my back. And yes, the alt attack here can be very helpful when dealing with all these statues. Classical Music 1337, thank you so much for the help. Well, that looks very ominous. Alright then. Oh shit. Oh my god, it's vampires! So no joke here, these are actually Sith undead, basically zombies rising up from the grave to just try to disintegrate you with force lightning. Man, older Star Wars really used to have a lot of paranormal stuff in it at times. Luckily, this is the only real challenging part with them, just because at this point there's so many of them that dodging all the lightning is pretty difficult. However, if you do have the force power to absorb, this is pretty much a non-issue. Unfortunately, I didn't have that, but what I did have is saber throw, which still worked out pretty well. Now, I'm not sure how others feel about the undead as a matter of Star Wars lore, but they definitely add to this dark and terrifying feeling the temple is supposed to have. And though they can be a little annoying at times, I do enjoy them as an enemy type overall. Just really adds some much needed diversity to the enemy roster at this point in the game. A cool fact about them is actually the game's manual makes no mention of them whatsoever in order to try to keep it a surprise for when they try to jump out and get you. After fighting our way through the undead, we make our way to the switch and activate one of the doorways. And now we just have to backtrack all the way to the beginning to take the right path instead to activate the other doorway. And by backtrack, what I really mean is just force jump over it all because I am not going through all of that again. Now, unfortunately, the right path here also starts with, you guessed it, more Vornskir. I swear, no matter what I do, I will never understand how to easily beat these guys. Ah, the Blue Room. No idea why this is actually here, to be honest, but it does have some more statues for you to fight, which is always fun. After you finish them off, you can actually swim down this central pillar and pop out into this giant room and kill a few more statues, and then what do you know it, Kyle shows up and tries to fight us for a bit.
Now, test yourself against me!
Now, you'd think that given the massive difficulty spike these last few levels have had, this fight here would be terribly hard, but the truth is it really isn't. Besides the occasional forced choke, he kinda just jumps around turning invisible a lot. I mean, I died like 5 times for every Vornskir I faced, but I didn't die even once to Kyle here before he just ran off and disappeared. Either way, after passing through some more Vornskir and evil flowers, we activate the other doorway, allowing us access to the inner sanctum. Well, at least after we deal with these final 2 statues here. Okay, I got an idea of how to deal with y'all. And off you go! Oh, jeez. I should have been doing that this entire time. This last portion here is just really cool. Just a slow-moving platform taking you out to the center of the sanctum before slowly dropping you down into darkness. Really just sells that whole evil palace feel so well. It makes us feel like we're truly going where we just do not belong. But let's be real, we'll go to the ends of the earth and back for Kyle Katarn.
I should congratulate you. Reaching the heart of the temple is not an easy journey. By finding me, you have chosen your destiny. You have traveled far. Now, take the final step on the path that lies before you. Join me, and together we will restore the Sith to its former glory.
No, that will never happen. I will kill you if I must, but I sense that you will not make that necessary.
There is no conflict, only resolve. The path of your destiny is now set, and you have but 2 choices. Cross the bridge before you and join me, or maintain your pitiful faith in the Force by stepping off into oblivion and death.
Well, Kyle, that is an interesting and, dare I say, persuasive argument. And because of my undying loyalty to you, of course, I accept. Oh, you bitch. So yeah, it's a final trap where if you try to go over to the dark side, you just die, showing of course why you should never trust a Sith. What you need to do is instead just walk off the edge to oblivion to find out, what do you know it, you're actually already in the throne room. Now whenever I'm trying to play a game like this to make a video on and I haven't played it before in the past, I really try my best not to look up any spoilers and only hints when I am truly stuck. And I am so thankful for that because this final twist here is just awesome. So I'm just going to say this right now, if you've never played through Mysteries of Sith and you intend on playing through it and you do not know how this ends, end the video here. I swear I will not be upset. Just end the video here and go play it. Now if you've already beaten the game or just don't really care, then here we go. At first I really tried just fighting Kyle and got absolutely nowhere for it, and especially since all your force powers have actually been disabled at this point. But after dying a few times to him, I noticed this carving on the wall of a woman Jedi laying down her weapon, so I thought this whole game's been full of puzzles, maybe I'll try to do the same, and what do you know? Kyle slew me where I stood. Now for those of you who know how this game is supposed to end, that might seem kind of confusing, but I didn't know how this game is supposed to end, so because of it I figured I just got it wrong and went back to trying to fight him. So after running around again trying to fight him a little bit, looking for a little bit of clues, I eventually just said, screw it, and I tried it one more time, and what do you know, this time it actually worked.
You are foolish, and for that you will die! I can't. No! I won't do this. This is not the way. It asks too much of me. I can't kill my friends and allies.
No, you can't. Trust in your feelings.
I was deluded too easily. I thought I could control the power. Instead, I lost myself to it. I have failed.
You haven't failed, Kyle.
So now I suppose you're the teacher and I'm the student.
You should be so lucky. Come on, let's go home.
Okay, that is how you subvert someone's expectations. You hear that, Rian Johnson? I mean, it would have been so easy for you to just beat Kyle down like most games would do, but to have you simply refuse to fight him as the way to win? I mean, that is a great way to end this, and one I was not expecting at all, so just props to whoever came up with that brilliant idea. Well, that is of course the end of the single player for Mysteries of the Sith. However, I can't exactly end this video without of course talking about the secret hidden level they had in this game. Back in the old days, there was a link to a LucasArts website where you could actually download the hidden Cloud City level for the game, where you play as Luke Skywalker and get to fight Boba Fett and even Vader. Now, the website is clearly down now, but you can still go through the process to get it online, though I didn't really want to try to figure all that out, so the footage here is actually from YouTuber Lightning Bolt Forever. And by the way, if you need help getting through this game at all, his walkthroughs absolutely saved me with some of the more ridiculous puzzles that it had here. Plus, his commentary through it was actually really fun to listen to, and it's clear he really enjoys this game a lot, so definitely go and please check him out. So here's the thing, Mysteries of the Sith is a strange game for me to talk about. Mostly because as great as some of the aspects are in the game, from some of the new level design choices, force powers, and new enemies, I really can't imagine ever recommending this game to anyone other than just a hardcore Dark Forces 2 fan. I mean, it's in a weird spot where I think I enjoyed more of what they attempted to do than what they actually made. It also seems like most of the team just wanted to go around creating new maps and gimmicks, while the rest tried to create a deep story, because what we got was around 75% of the game being neat levels with no meaningful or engaging story behind them, and then 25% of amazing lore and backstory, but terrible level design and enemy placements. I mean, I loved playing through the pirate base and the Rancor pit especially, but story-wise, it was just completely disconnected from anything else. And on the other side, I hated almost every moment playing through that damn swamp and just got irritated whenever a Vornskir showed up at all in the later levels. But I also loved the story that went along with it all. Despite my many complaints I probably have about the game, I am so happy to have finally played through it. I mean, as an expansion pack, it's no opposing force, that's for sure, but it definitely wasn't half-assed at all. It's clear that the people behind this game, despite its many faults, truly do enjoy the Star Wars universe and strive to make something worthy to add to it. And these days, that's all I'm really asking for. Real quick, I really want to take a chance just to thank you all so much for watching this video. I know it's a pretty long video for an expansion pack, but it was still so much fun getting a chance to actually play a game that I've heard so much about for this long. And hey, this makes it the final of the Dark Forces series, which means I can finally move on to the games I remember growing up with, which is of course Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. But if you want to see more of the Dark Forces series, you know I already have the retrospectives for Dark Forces 1 and Dark Forces 2 on the channel, so feel free to of course check those out. And of course we'll be looking at Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy real soon. So if you're interested in that, please make sure of course you like this video and subscribe to the channel, and hope to be seeing you again real soon. Peace.